YouTube, what's going on, man? Words with Waters. Yeah, that's the overall podcast name. I'm Waters, Words by Waters on all platforms, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. Yeah, so we here. I know last time I had the shades on, so see how these fit. I might not keep them on though, you know what I'm saying? I like just the contrast of the dark and the red and just the whole ambiance of the room. I know I'm not outside with the sun or anything, but like I said, I might take them off mid show or whatever. But nah, man, this is something I want to add to the podcast of Words with Waters, because I actually been doing this for a minute, but I didn't add the visual part. So like I said in my first one, if you go back, I don't call it a podcast, I call it an audio/visual engagement. So for the most part, I had the audio engagement side of the podcast, but but now, so you starting to see the visual. You know, I'm in my home, in the home studio, feel me? And yeah, man, we really getting it popping. But like I said, I really wanted to just like add like some real truth behind the content of how I'm doing this. Cause I know in the first one I was like, boom, this how it's gonna go. But it dawned on me that when I was doing these audio/visual engagements, I already had a lineup. So I want to pretty much include what I was previously doing into my current lineup that I spoke with y'all about as far as like how it's gonna go. So before I was doing behind the quotes, you know, I'm a writer first, before I'm a musician, before I'm a songwriter, before I'm an author, book writer, I'm just a writer in general. That's hence the name Words by Waters. So it's all things words related. So I was doing quotes behind the quotes because I was always coming up with these quotes that were like my quotes for like the last 3+ years. And I wanted to come up with a quote book, but I feel like during that time, a lot of people were just catching on to the quote book trend and just wanted to do it because it was a trend. And not dissing anybody, you know, I think we need more people to be authors. We need more writers in like just the literary industry in general. If you ask me, besides just having people like our color, black folks, you know, minorities just making music. So I definitely think we need more people who are like real, like authors, like writing the books themselves, coming up with the ideas themselves, even doing the grammatical error checks and everything. So nothing against that, but I felt at that time it was really trendy. So I was like, man, I ain't trying to go to the quote book way because I already had wrote a book by then. So I just posted my quotes on Instagram, Words by Waters. I posted it on Instagram and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing some Instagram reels or Instagrams, what they call it? What was them John's called? Stories, but I guess reels. Before reels, it was something else that they had where like you can put up the stories and you'll save it. It was like the episodes or whatever. So I was putting them up and I was doing behind the quotes and I was talking behind the quotes. And then I started implementing that into the podcast. So now I say that to say I'm doing that too. So that's one part that we're gonna have. So we got already the first part I talked about with the whole Words with Waters and the whole reading to you rich and writing to you wealthy. So that's like the whole, that's a show in itself. Writing to you wealthy and reading to you rich is a show. And then I'm gonna just spontaneously come on here and do these other parts that I was previously doing, as in behind the quotes. I might just come on here and just say, boom, this is a quote I got, y'all. I'll probably throw it up on the screen later on, you know, when we get farther down, just this journey of this show that I'm creating, this audio and visual engagement that I'm bringing to the public. And then I got another one that I did before that's actually already just the audio side, like I mentioned, that's called Top of the Mind Topics. So it's pretty much like top of the mind topics and topics that just I was thinking about that day or something that was just literally top of the mind. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna bring this up because I would have it on my mind. It's top of the mind. Let me just bring it out to people and discuss this with everybody. So that's how we going. That's how we rocking. Thank y'all, man, because this is just the beginning, like, you know, and I've been at this for a minute, but I finally got to this point now where all these pieces are starting to line up, where I'm like, okay, I got the audio side locked in. I got the visual side becoming more locked in. You know, we still building a studio. We still getting equipment. Everything's still coming up. But, like, I know I'm going to look back at these days, at these episodes, and I'm like, man, wow, bro. Like, those are really good old days. The exact same way I'll probably look at those present times in the future and look at those as the good old days as well. And I was just telling my little boy that this morning. But yeah, so yeah, man, whew. Like it's just really, just Yo, it's amazing. Like, love it. Oh yeah, so might as well plug the book in. It's the book right here. Have Your Happiness, J.B. Waters. You know, that's what y'all will see me under if you go up under YouTube, I'm under J.B. Waters. First, last name by blood. That's why I go by Waters. But tap in with that. You can find it Barnes & Noble online, Amazon online. It's really short. Look at it, thin, super thin. I did that. I mean, these are called vademecums. You know, vademecums is Latin for to go with you. And they were started a long time ago. And they were meant to be like pocketbooks, books you can just reference real easy, put them in your pocket, literally put them in your book bag, whip them out quick, really short to give you like an update on some information that you want to assimilate. So I made them like that. I made them for the non-readers. So it's not like, oh, he can't write or nothing. And it's like, no, I made all my books, and all the books I will be creating are going to be short for a while. Just because I want people to get in. We're not in a reading book era, you know what I'm saying? We're not in a reading book era. We're not in an era where folks will be like, man, sure, let's push up, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna sit and have a reading book. We're gonna have a reading date. You know what I mean? Like, maybe some girls would be lit by that. You like, oh, we having a reading date. You know, maybe some girls wouldn't be lit by it, but like, it's not the norm for folks to be running to a book or having everybody sit down in a book club or something. So I'm really trying, that's another part of what I'm doing with the whole Read Until You Rich, Write Until You Wealthy. In that fourth part of the show, in that part of the, you know, the audio visual engagement is, that's still like a book club that I'm, you know, somewhat creating by suggestion. The books that I had them somewhere. I think they're in the back. But yeah, so I just want to plug it in. Like I said, Have Your Happiness. You can go order it. The link is in the bio of my Instagram, Words by Waters, or you can go directly on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I think we got it on Target and Walmart as well. But yeah, tap in, man. And I made it mad cheap. I think it's like $10. It might go down to $8 now, you know, because Amazon be having everything for cheap. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't get rich off of books. You know, I'm not writing this to get wealthy. This is for me to be able to give people some value so they can see how important owning your happiness is as you would try to own your money. You know, that's pretty much the synopsis of the book. This book is teaching people how to own and control their happiness with the exact same intent that they want to control and own their wealth, their money. Some people don't. Some people's money is all out of whack, and some people's emotions are all out of whack, and they both just messed up in both areas. But for the most part, most people think that they have their money under control. Most people think they have their money under control more than they have their emotions under control. So it's like the same type of intent that you have on being able to control your money. Use that same intent on controlling your happiness. You're not about to let somebody come up to you and say, man, you know what? You got $100. This is what you need to do with that $100. You know what I'm saying? Or make you feel like you swaying back and forth about that $100 you got. And $100 ain't a lot. $100 ain't hitting on nothing nowadays. But you're not about to let somebody do that with your 100, but you're gonna let a person in a relationship or a friendship or a random person that's cut you off in the road control how happy you are, and you might be in your zone. Somebody might say something that throw you off or knock you off your rocker, or something might pop off, and you looking at it, and you like, man, my whole day messed up. So you're not controlling your happiness. You're not taking that exact same initiative that you would to try to control your happiness as you would to try to control your money. And that's pretty much literally what this book is about, bro. And there's like 4 steps in it that teaches people the core principles that I believe helped me. Cause I ain't gonna lie, after I made this book, it was hard. I actually got frustrated with myself because I was like, dang, I can't get sad. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't get into a negative headspace because I get into one and I start thinking about the principle of this book about, you know, learning how to be happiness through gratitude and making sure you write the things that you have down in your life that make you grateful so you can reference to them, understanding how to, you know, control your happiness and identifying what the things you relate happiness to so you can make sure that you shouldn't be too attached to those things and know how to, you know, detach from them and know how to step away from them at the blink of an eye, or if not at the blink of an eye, work on ways to where you can say, okay, I don't need to engage this right now because it's controlling too much of my happiness or my emotions, and specifically your happiness and your joy. So like once I started learning that and assimilating that knowledge, I started living by this book. I didn't have to read it, you know what I'm saying? So it just got me, I was like, dang, wow, I wish. You know what I'm saying? I've been through so much since I wrote this book 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Well, low tip, probably about 2 years. Yeah, about two years, year and a half, around it. Anyway, so definitely tap in. But the reason for this little quick was an update of what we about to be doing. So y'all gonna really see a lot of what I put in the first one. A lot of writing, like I said, the cook-up sessions where I go in there and make a song, edit a song, while I go in there and let y'all listen to a song, behind the lyrics, where I talk about why I wrote a song, what the intent behind the song was, and lastly, or maybe even primarily, the book review, the book I'm reading at the time, maybe an excerpt from the book. I might read an excerpt from the book. I suggest a book, talk about it, and just keep doing that. So that was already locked. And I'm just updating everybody with what we got going on. We're going to be implementing the random top of the mind topics that I just been popping up on and putting in, and visually I'm gonna connect the visual and the audio together, so y'all can all go on Apple not Apple, but what is it called, Apple Podcasts, or I forgot the name of it, Apple Podcasts, on Spotify the podcast. Y'all can listen to them if y'all don't have the time to be able to see the visual as well on YouTube. But for some top of the mind, what could I say top of the mind? I ain't really have nothing that was top of the mind today. I'm sure I do. I always have things that I be like, man, I just need a phone recording all times. I be that type. I just need a phone recording all times, and just literally every time I'm thinking about something, just you know what I'm saying? Just tap in with your boy, just log it in. But what can I say, man? Yeah, today, like not even today, but just these moments, man. Like, and yeah, this one thing I'm gonna put out here early, man. I'm laying the foundation of who I am, what I stand for early. So whenever I tap in, link up with all these socialites, YouTubers, influencers, people already know what I represent. So if it's any rebuttals, any debates, it ain't gonna be none, because you already know this is what I stand for. We might have some, healthy debating, which I love healthy debating. I love healthy competition. I feel like competition is the breath and the heartbeat of an economy, especially an American economy. So I'm all for that. But I've been really tapping in on the universal law and the correlation to the astrological law that's embedded in the universe, as far as like astrology and how the stars align and time and the law of attraction. I believe in that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who believes in it, who don't believe in it. I'm definitely not one of them niggas that's gonna walk up on you, or one of them men or guys who gonna walk up on you and be like, what's your zodiac sign? Like, nah. I'll find out when I find out. I might be like thinking that in my mind, but I ain't like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Jody, what's that? The name, number, and your zodiac sign. Nah, I ain't that. But I definitely understand the principles of that. So I say that to say I've been going through a lot of like in-depth research on just looking at how things line up with me. And for the record, my son is a Scorpio. I'm almost on the cusp of Libra, so I had a little Libra residue in there because it's the 28th of October. And so I've been looking at a lot of things that's like just been dealing with who I am on a universal aspect, and the situations I've been put into my life. So any top of the mind things that I might have is really just about what I've been going through lately. And I'm really viewing right now that it's like, you have to understand, this is what it is. This is what I got. You have to understand that it is literally no one else's job to make sure that your life is well. It's no one else's job to make sure that you're alive and well and take care of your well-being. And depending on your race, your upbringing, and where you grew up in the world, your placement in the world, that is a very hard pill to swallow. Because you grow up in life and you think that a lot of times people are going to be there hand and foot for you. They're going to think the same way you think. You're going to think that they're going to have the same common courtesy as you. You're going to think that they're going to be compassionate as you. If you are that type of person that does those things that I just mentioned. So when you grow up, you would naturally have that infant mentality in you. Even when you turn 17, 18, 25, 35. I know some grown women that still do that. I know some grown men that I've come across with. They're not like my ace boom coons. I ain't like hella close with them because their energy is just too clashy with me. I couldn't rock with that all the time. Like, honestly, my circle tight as a dot on it, to be honest. And I'm working on expanding that and working on myself so I can attract new vibrations into my life. But not to run off on a tangent, because sometimes your boy can. You know what I mean? But like really to be able to like say, okay, cool, it is my job to put my well-being first, and to know that that's very important. So if anything is top of the mind, that's the topic, and like, whew, you know what I'm saying? It's heavy. It's heavy, man, because you'll go out and you might think somebody's going to think for you. You might be, for instance, I was in a grocery store. I was at Sprouts. And I ain't got nothing against Shawty, man. Like, I ain't got nothing against her. She was young, doing her thing. But I had bought some collagen, and they had this coupon on it that said $3. And that's how I can tell I've grown financially. Because back in the day, I always had this super wealthy mentality to where I'm like, man, I ain't tripping about $3, $4, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I don't think that's wealth, you know? And back then, I was so young to not realize that it is wealth to be able to make sure that you're getting your money's worth of anything. You're getting your time's worth of anything, your energy worth of anything. And there's nothing wrong with auditing how that looks if you're really getting that and seeing if you're receiving the value that's due to you based off of what you put into. So she rang my collagen up. It had a $3 coupon on there, but she tried the coupon and it said something like unauthorized and denied. And this has happened before, but people have known to just push through and try to do it themselves and give me the manual discount. They gave me the manual discount. But she was young, like I said, she wasn't tripping. So she just kind of did it unauthorized and didn't let me know that it didn't happen. And she put on her side and I didn't see the price reduction. So I sat there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give her some seconds. I ain't gonna be down her throat to see if she's gonna try to, tap in and fix it. So I was like, so that the total price is that with the thing on it. Then she told me, oh no, it don't work. It just told me, and I was like, normally what they do is the protocol is they go in there and they manually put it in. She's like, okay, bet. And then she did it. There was no back and forth. But see, that made me think if I wouldn't have said nothing, Shawty would have just went and put that thing on the side, and I would have paid an extra $3. I would have been in pain. I would have had to pay the extra $3. Not saying $3 is hurting the nigga by far, because if it was, I wouldn't even be doing this, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fact that nobody is gonna go that extra mile for you, and if they do, it's rare where people will think with you in mind, to think with you in mind. So that's like my main top of the mind topic right now. Like, you have to make sure that it is your number one priority to recognize that your well-being and your health, vitality, health and wellness, mental, physical, financial, emotionally, is primarily your main focus. Everything else after that is low. It's low. It don't even really matter. So if I have to leave anybody with anything, like I said, I didn't want to be too long with it. Top of the mind topic is that making sure y'all always remember to put your well-being first, making sure that it's no one's job to make you happy, to make you, and this book talks about that, having your happiness. That's why it says have your happiness, own your happiness. It's no one else's job to be able to do that. And once you understand that, you move differently. You don't take stuff personally. You're making sure that you're making yourself a priority. You're not feeling resentful. That's so many things. I'm definitely gonna bring this up again. Trust me, I'm definitely gonna bring this up again. But like I said, I didn't want to make this super long. I feel that what I said will resonate with those that it's meant to resonate with. YouTube, appreciate the love. Shouts out to everybody, all the followers. 1, 2, 3. I got, like I said, we're in the beginning, the future followers. I appreciate everything y'all got going on. As they say, the like, subscribe, share, all of that, man. One love. Remember to write your world into existence. Waters.